Ladies and gentlemen, imagine waking up one day and realizing that half your life has slipped by while you were too busy being sad, holding grudges, or overthinking that one moment that didn't go your way. What would you do differently if you knew the clock was ticking faster than you thought? See, the terrifying truth is, we don't get a warning before time runs out, we just run out of time. And while you're scrolling through someone else's highlight reel or stuck in a cycle of self-pity, life isn't pausing to wait for you to catch up. Why is it that we treat happiness like a reward and negativity like a lifestyle? I mean, when was the last time you laughed so hard your stomach hurt, instead of stressing so much your head did? The excitement of living isn't hidden behind perfect conditions, it's buried under the weight of distractions we choose to carry. Now here's the twist. What if I told you that every second you spend in sadness is a second you willingly hand over to regret, and the only thing more painful than failure is realizing you never even tried because you were too busy sulking? The real story begins when we stop letting our emotions write the script and start choosing purpose over pain. So ask yourself, are you really living or just rehearsing for a life you're never going to perform? Time once lost can never be regained. It is the most precious resource we have, yet it is the one we often treat with the least respect. We spend it without thinking, squander it on things that don't serve us, and waste it on emotions that drain our energy. The ironic truth is that no matter how much wealth, power, or status we accumulate, we cannot buy more time. We can't pause it, rewind it, or fast forward it. Once a moment is gone, it's gone forever. So why is it that we spend so much of it in a state of sadness or negativity, as if we have an infinite supply? Every day the clock ticks away, and with every passing second, we lose something we'll never get back: time. The idea that time is irreplaceable should, in theory, inspire us to cherish it, yet for many it doesn't. We allow ourselves to get caught up in moments of frustration, disappointment, or anger, forgetting that those emotions only rob us of what really matters. In the grand scheme of things, how much time do we waste in negative states? How many hours have we lost dwelling on past mistakes, fearing what the future holds, or wishing for things to be different? Imagine if we could truly grasp the gravity of time's fleeting nature. If we could see every second slipping away, would we still choose to stay stuck in unhappiness? Would we let a single argument, a minor setback, or a fleeting moment of self-doubt dominate our day? We often forget that while circumstances may be temporary, the effects of our emotional responses to those circumstances can last much longer. A single hour spent in anger or regret could stretch into days or weeks of wasted time. Yet the beautiful thing is that we have the power to control how we spend our time, especially when it comes to how we choose to feel. The reality is that life doesn't stop. The world keeps turning, people move on, and time doesn't wait for anyone. We can sit and feel sorry for ourselves, or we can choose to take action, to break free from negativity, and to move forward with purpose. Every second we spend indulging in sadness or negativity is a second we could have used to learn something new, create something meaningful, or connect with someone who matters. And yet, we often let the past or our insecurities dictate how we live today. Time's true value becomes more apparent when we realize how quickly it passes. We might look back years from now and wonder why we spent so much of our precious time focusing on what went wrong instead of what could go right. The best moments of our lives aren't the ones filled with regret or bitterness. They're the ones where we chose to live fully, embracing both the joy and the challenges that come our way. When we look back at our lives, what we remember most vividly aren't the things we regret, but the things we did with the time we had. The urgency of time becomes even clearer when we consider the unpredictability of life. We never know how much time we have left, and that's a powerful realization. We spend so much time worrying about the future, trying to control the uncontrollable, or dwelling on the past, and in doing so, we forget that we're missing out on the present. Time, once it's gone, is irreversible. We can't go back to yesterday, and we don't know if tomorrow is promised. So why not make the most of the here and now? Why waste today on negativity when tomorrow is uncertain? This is not to say that we should never experience sadness or challenges. Emotions are a natural part of being human, and they should be honored. But what's important is recognizing when those emotions start to rob us of our time, when they start taking up space in our lives that could be better used for growth, learning, and connection. We don't have to let every negative feeling define our day or our future. We don't have to waste time on things that do not serve us. Instead, we can choose to acknowledge those emotions, process them, and then let them go, knowing that the clock keeps ticking and it's our responsibility to make the most of every moment. When we recognize that time is irreplaceable, we become more intentional about how we spend it. We start to value our time with others, the moments of laughter, the experiences that bring us joy. We become more present, more focused, and more determined to live our lives with purpose. And in doing so, we stop wasting time on things that don't matter. Because at the end of the day, what we really want is to look back and know that we spent our time wisely, not dwelling in negativity, but living in a way that brings us fulfillment and peace. Our emotions hold the power to shape not just our experiences, but the very reality we live in. They are more than just fleeting feelings. They are the lens through which we perceive the world around us. When we experience joy, the world seems brighter, more inviting. When we feel anger, even the simplest inconvenience can seem like an insurmountable obstacle. Emotions have the ability to color every moment, turning neutral situations into either sources of happiness or stress. In this way, our emotions are not just reactions to external events, they actively shape how we experience those events and how we interact with the world. The impact of emotions on reality can be seen in both big and small ways. Take, for example, the feeling of fear. When we are afraid, our mind begins to focus on potential dangers, even if they are not present. A situation that is completely safe can appear threatening because fear has distorted our perception. This distortion can prevent us from acting in our best interest, causing us to miss out on opportunities or avoid challenges that could lead to growth. Similarly, sadness can cloud our judgment and make us view situations through a negative filter. When we are sad, we often magnify our problems, seeing them as more significant than they truly are, and it becomes difficult to notice the positive aspects of life. On the other hand, emotions like hope and excitement can do the opposite. They can infuse even the most mundane tasks with meaning and enthusiasm. When we approach life with a positive outlook, challenges become opportunities, setbacks become lessons, and obstacles are just temporary roadblocks. Our reality shifts from one of limitation to one of possibility. Hope allows us to envision a better future, and excitement fuels our motivation to make that future a reality. These emotions act as powerful forces, guiding us to take action and make choices that align with our values and dreams. The truth is, emotions are not merely passive responses to the world around us. They are active forces that shape how we interpret and interact with reality. This can be both empowering and limiting. When we learn to manage our emotions, we gain control over how we experience the world. Instead of allowing negative emotions to dictate our responses, we can choose to respond in ways that support our well-being and goals. The more we cultivate positive emotional states, the more we begin to see the world as a place of opportunity and hope, even in the face of adversity. However, this is not to say that we should suppress negative emotions. It is crucial to acknowledge and process emotions like sadness, anger, and fear, as they are natural and part of the human experience. But allowing these emotions to dominate our lives can trap us in a cycle of negativity where we begin to see ourselves and the world in a distorted way. It's important to recognize when these emotions are no longer serving us and to take steps to shift our focus. This doesn't mean ignoring our feelings, it means choosing to not let them define us or our reality. The power of emotions to shape reality is also evident in the way they influence our interactions with others. When we are in a positive emotional state, we are more likely to approach others with kindness, patience, and understanding. our interactions are more likely to be productive, and we are better able to build connections and resolve conflicts. On the other hand, when we are in a negative emotional state, our interactions may be clouded by irritability or defensiveness, making it harder to communicate effectively and create meaningful relationships. In this way, our emotions don't just affect our internal world, they ripple outward, influencing how we engage with the people around us. In the workplace or in our personal lives, emotions have a profound effect on our performance and relationships. A person who approaches challenges with a sense of optimism and confidence is likely to succeed in overcoming obstacles, as their positive emotions drive them to take initiative and find creative solutions. Conversely, someone who approaches the same challenges with anxiety or self-doubt may struggle to move forward, as their negative emotions hinder their ability to think clearly and take decisive action. This is why emotional intelligence, our ability to understand and manage our emotions, is so important. The more we develop this skill, the more we can shape our reality in a positive direction. Our emotions can even shape our physical health. Stress, anxiety, and chronic negative emotions have been linked to a range of health problems, from heart disease to immune system dysfunction. On the other hand, positive emotions like gratitude and love have been shown to improve health outcomes, boost the immune system, and increase longevity. The mind-body connection is real, and the emotions we experience can either contribute to our well-being or detract from it. By cultivating positive emotional states, we not only improve our mental outlook, but also enhance our physical health, further reinforcing the connection between emotions and reality. Ultimately, our emotions are powerful forces that shape the reality we experience. They are not just reactions to external events. They actively influence how we interpret those events, how we engage with others, and even how we experience our own lives. By learning to manage and cultivate our emotions, we can take control of our reality and create a life that aligns with our deepest desires and values. The world is not as it seems, it is as we perceive it, and our emotions are the lens through which that perception is formed. We often think of our lives as stories written by the world around us, by our circumstances, by other people's expectations, or by the events that happen to us. We allow ourselves to be defined by the labels others place on us, or by the setbacks we encounter, as if these things have the ultimate power to shape who we are and what we become. But the truth is, we are the authors of our own narrative. We control the pen, and we have the power to write the next chapter of our lives. The way we choose to perceive ourselves, the stories we tell ourselves, and the way we react to challenges are all within our control. Our life is not a random sequence of events. It's a story we are actively creating every single day. What often holds us back from taking control of our narrative is the belief that we are at the mercy of circumstances. It's easy to think that life happens to us, that we are simply reacting to what the world throws our way. When things don't go as planned, it's tempting to fall into a victim mentality, believing that our fate is out of our hands. We may think that because of our past experiences, our background, or our current situation, we're somehow limited in what we can achieve. But this is an illusion. While we cannot always control the events that happen to us, we can absolutely control how we respond to them. Every challenge we face, every setback we encounter, is an opportunity to shape our story. It's all about how we frame it. If we see ourselves as victims, then we become trapped in a narrative of helplessness. But if we choose to see ourselves as warriors, as people who rise up in the face of adversity, then we begin to craft a story of strength and resilience. The same event can be told in countless ways, depending on the perspective we choose. One person might see failure as the end of the road, while another might see it as a stepping stone to success. One person might see rejection as a personal attack, while another might see it as an opportunity for growth and improvement. The choice is ours. Taking control of our narrative also means taking responsibility for our own growth. It means recognizing that we are not defined by our past, our mistakes, or the opinions of others. Our past is simply a chapter in our story, but it doesn't have to dictate the rest of the book. Just because we've faced challenges or made mistakes doesn't mean we are doomed to repeat them. Each new day presents a blank page, and we have the power to fill it with new choices, new actions, and new possibilities. It's up to us to decide what we want the story of our lives to be. One of the most empowering aspects of controlling your own narrative is the ability to change your perspective. Often we get stuck in a cycle of negative thinking, focusing on what we don't have, what we've lost, or what's going wrong. But the key to changing our narrative is shifting our mindset. Instead of seeing obstacles as insurmountable problems, we can choose to view them as opportunities for growth. Instead of focusing on what we lack, we can focus on what we've gained and what we can create moving forward. When we change the way we see the world, we change the way we experience it. It's also important to remember that controlling our narrative doesn't mean pretending that everything is perfect or ignoring the struggles we face. It means acknowledging the reality of our circumstances while also choosing to rise above them. We can accept the challenges that come our way without allowing them to define us. We can be honest about our struggles while also taking steps to move forward. This is where true empowerment lies, not in pretending that life is easy, but in having the courage to face it head on, no matter how difficult it may seem. Taking control of your narrative also means being intentional about the stories you tell yourself. Often we let our inner dialogue be shaped by fear, doubt, or negativity. We tell ourselves that we're not good enough, that we're incapable of achieving our goals, or that we don't deserve success. But these are just stories we've bought into. They are not the truth. The truth is that we are all capable of far more than we realize. When we change the story we tell ourselves, we begin to change our reality. Instead of telling ourselves that we're not enough, we can start telling ourselves that we are worthy of success, that we are capable of growth, and that we have the power to create the life we want. Ultimately, controlling your narrative is about embracing the power you have over your own life. It's about recognizing that you are not a passive observer in your own story, but an active participant. You get to decide how you respond to life's challenges, how you view yourself, and how you move forward. Your story is yours to write, and it's never too late to begin a new chapter. Whether you've spent years stuck in the same pattern or are facing a new challenge, you have the ability to take control and create the future you want. It all starts with the story you choose to tell yourself, and that story is yours to shape. Regret is a silent killer. It doesn't shout, it doesn't demand attention, but its effects can be far more destructive than any outwardly visible harm. It lingers in the background, quietly eating away at our sense of self-worth, our happiness, and our future potential. We all experience regret at some point in our lives about decisions we made, opportunities we missed, or paths we didn't take. And while it's natural to reflect on our past and wish for things to have gone differently, when regret becomes a constant companion, it transforms from a fleeting feeling into a toxic force that slowly chips away at our mental and emotional well-being. The danger of regret is that it traps us in the past, preventing us from fully living in the present. When we focus too much on what we could have done differently, we become fixated on past mistakes, lost opportunities, and things beyond our control. The longer we allow ourselves to dwell on regret, the more it clouds our judgment and prevents us from seeing the possibilities in front of us. Instead of moving forward, we become paralyzed by the what-ifs and the could-haves, all the while missing out on the opportunities that are unfolding in the here and now. Regret not only keeps us stuck in the past, but also holds us hostage to fear. Fear of making the same mistake again, fear of taking risks, fear of putting ourselves out there because we're scared of failing or being judged. We become so consumed by the idea that we might regret something again that we stop taking action altogether. We might opt for the safe, predictable route, avoiding anything that challenges us because we're terrified of facing the consequences of another mistake. This cycle of fear and inaction only deepens our sense of regret as we begin to realize that not taking risks is in itself a form of regret. We regret not pursuing our dreams, not stepping outside our comfort zone, not seizing the moments that could have changed our lives. One of the most insidious aspects of regret is how it affects our self-esteem. When we constantly replay past mistakes in our minds, we start to believe that those mistakes define us. We label ourselves as failures, as people who didn't live up to their potential, as someone who couldn't make the right choices. These negative self-judgments begin to seep into our every thought and interaction, creating a narrative that we're not good enough, that we're incapable of success, or that we're doomed to make more mistakes. As this negative self-image takes root, we become less likely to take risks or make bold decisions because we no longer trust ourselves. The self-doubt fueled by regret reinforces the cycle of inaction and missed opportunities. Regret is also a thief of joy. When we focus on the things we wish we had done differently, we rob ourselves of the ability to enjoy the present moment. We become so consumed by the past that we fail to appreciate what we have now, the people in our lives, the experiences we're having, the possibilities that still lie ahead. Our minds are preoccupied with things we can no longer change, and in doing so, we miss out on the beauty of the present. We start to see life as a series of missed chances, and we lose sight of the new opportunities that are waiting for us to seize them. In relationships, regret can be particularly damaging. We might regret not expressing our feelings, not standing up for ourselves, or not taking the time to nurture the connections that matter most. Over time, these unspoken regrets pile up, creating walls between us and the people we care about. We might hold on to past arguments, misunderstandings, or missed chances to show love and appreciation, allowing those regrets to fester and grow. Instead of working toward healing, we remain stuck in a state of emotional stagnation, carrying around the weight of unresolved issues that prevent us from moving forward in our relationships. The real danger of regret is that it blinds us to the lessons that we should be learning from our mistakes. Regret has the potential to be a powerful teacher if we allow it to be. Every mistake, every failure, every missed opportunity carries with it a lesson, something we can learn that will make us stronger, wiser, and better prepared for the future. But when we are consumed by regret, we don't learn those lessons. Instead of seeing our past experiences as valuable teachers, we view them as failures that define us. This prevents us from growing and evolving, leaving us stuck in a cycle of self-pity and inaction. Regret also prevents us from fully embracing our potential. It tells us that we've already made our mistakes, that we've already blown our chances, and that we're not capable of achieving the things we once dreamed of. But the truth is that no mistake is final. No decision is irreversible. Life is full of opportunities for reinvention and growth, and it's never too late to start over, to take a different path, or to pursue something new. Regret may have a hold on us, but we don't have to let it define our future. We can choose to let go of the past and step into the present with a renewed sense of purpose, knowing that the future is still unwritten. The silent killer of regret may haunt us quietly, but we can choose to break free from its grip. By letting go of past mistakes, forgiving ourselves, and embracing the lessons we've learned, we can begin to build a future that is free of the weight of regret. We may not be able to change what's happened, but we can control how we move forward, and that ultimately is the most powerful antidote to the silent killer of regret.